provider. Let its ego dominate its decisions. A period of ignorance and neglect has had profound effects across the world, effects which can be reversed if nature is given the time to repair the damage. Remember, we only have one home.
I'm Justice Wyonne, and you're listening to the Happy Earth Market podcast.
California State Senate has passed a bill to restrict big pharma gifts to medical professionals. Senator Mike McGuire's bill, SB 790, significantly restricts pharmaceutical companies from giving gifts and incentives to healthcare providers, including flights, travel, speaking fees, consulting payments, entertainment, and other economic benefits. Senator McGuire responding today saying, quote, "I'll be the first to say that the vast majority of physicians and medical professionals need to put the needs of their patients first." Adding, quote, "Growing evidence reveals that financial relationships between some physicians and pharmaceutical companies confirm what has been suspected. Financial incentives change minds," end quote.
Wow. So pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, they suck.
They're no longer, well, hopefully, this has to go through the assembly still.
In California.
It's good.
We'll no longer be able to pay off your doctor to give you cancer.
Sweet.
Hi, everyone. This is Sam.
I'm Nathan.
I'm JR.
Oh.
And today we have
Justice.
And you're listening to Happy Earth Market podcast.
Yay! The crowd goes crazy.
Welcome, Justice.
Hi.
The
Hi.
crowd goes crazy. I've never heard that reaction before.
Up twinkles all over the place.
She did twinkle fingers. Yeah. Twinkle fingers. You called it jazz hands.
Spirit hands.
I call it up twinkles.
Up twinkle.
Come on, it's how we gotta communicate to each other when we're in large groups. How can we can get like how the vibe is feeling when we're in a large group? Up twinkles, man. Total up
Large
twinkle.
group of 4.
Well,
5. AJ's here.
And our in-studio
Temperature
audience,
check.
yeah.
Up twinkles.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here too.
Yeah, it's you're amazing.
Thanks.
Aw.
Yeah. So let me just start by saying how I met you. Do you remember how I met you?
I don't know. I'm feeling nervous. I've been
No,
in
it's
this.
okay.
There's all these wires everywhere. I've never done this whole podcast thing.
Don't be scared. Be
There's
comfortable.
a lot of wires,
Are you
man.
comfortable? Are you comfortable? Need a pillow?
All right. I'm okay.
Okay. Well, we met. I was looking up ways to help homeless people for socks and blankets for the homeless.
That's right.
And Facebook showed me Reclaimed Art Suppliez.
Yay.
It has this fill the backpacks for homeless people. And I thought,
Oh, I remember that.
wow, I should go check this place out. And I looked at some pictures and it looked like a pretty cool place. Maybe a place I might like to hang out in for a minute. And walked in there and there you were with this incredibly welcoming spirit that I've never, ever gotten when I walked into a business before. Ever.
It'd be weird if they were that way, like
And
at
it was,
Kohl's.
and it was cool. It was cool because I knew I was going to come back no matter what. This whole homeless thing, if this plays out, no matter what, I'm coming back. Because what you sold me going into this place was that this place is a place for everybody. You're here. You're welcome. This is home, outside of home. You know, that's the feeling you gave me. And it was cool. And it was needed in my life.
Thanks. I'm totally in tears.
I see that.
It was so nice.
I see that.
I shouldn't have looked over. Look, they're both crying now.
I see
JR's
that.
welling
I'm
up.
sorry.
It's not. No, I will never apologize for my feelings. I'm very sensitive, which is fine. But wow.
Yeah, no. And
sometimes hearing my impact on people really touches me. I don't.
Of course.
And I get verklempt.
Yeah, and that's okay. It's okay because, you know, when you have a light like that and you don't even know you have that kind of a gift, you know, it's pretty cool to hear it. Like, people tell you and you're like, oh, shit, thanks.
I love to shine it.
Yeah,
it makes me really happy.
And you're really good at it. And you're really
Hearing
good
about
at it.
it is harder.
You're really good at it. But that's how we met, was through Socks and Blankets.
I remember now. You had to, like, give me a boost.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, and that was a really fun project, too. It was super fun. It ended up bringing in so many people and so many things, and it was awesome.
Helping a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the littlest of things that we do that make the biggest impact.
That's
And sometimes it's just being that one person with the pair of socks that happens to reach out on the street corner.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, angels are everywhere.
Exactly.
sure.
And we all are angels.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the best part. We all get to be angels.
Yeah.
It's just remembering how to do that.
Just choosing to be that,
yeah.
ultimately.
I like to
do
say
that.
remembering.
Remembering's good too.
Yeah.
But even though we remember, do I need to keep this open?
That's up
I
to
forget.
you, man.
What else
is
is
a
on?
choice? Yeah.
It is a choice because we can decide not to remember. Or we have the knowledge and then we choose not to live that knowledge.
Yeah.
You know.
Everybody goes through selfish times where, you know, they're not wanting to be angels. They're just wanting to indulge their own self or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's cool.
Yep. As long as you're not hurting anybody else. But then we start hurting other people. That's when
that's the problem.
your selfishness gets bad, right?
Yeah.
First universal rule. Do no harm.
Do no harm.
So hard to do in our society. Anyway, but we can do it in our own communities and especially in our own home. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a real foundational. Do no harm.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you hit your first roadblock in that thought process when you're a child, then that establishes everything else.
Sure.
So what was that first thing that you learned? Do no harm. You know, where it comes from. So our environment plays a big role. Huh?
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. My mom had a similar philosophy of do no harm. It was that your freedom ends where somebody else's begins. You know, just you can't impose your will on other people.
Right.
It's just not the right thing to do.
Right. You okay?
Yeah, I'm totally okay.
I just want to make sure.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm okay.
That's funny. You guys had this big peak of cry and then all this emotion.
I know. So I just want to make sure you're okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
All
okay.
right. All right. Yeah. Okay.
I'm good. That just felt really good. It's
So-
like,
Oh, good. Okay.
How, since we've already touched on it, let's get right into it. Reclaimed was a hub for a lot of people in Vegas. I've met dozens of people that I'm still friends with just from hanging outside having cigarettes. You know what I mean? And what I'm curious about is how did you guys start it? What was the plan? Tell us the struggle, man.
the struggle. The thing is Reclaimed was an inspiration that happened really fast.
Mm-hmm.
An idea that landed that had been germinating for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And all the right pieces just kind of fell together and poofed into an idea.
Right.
The original intention was to bridge community with art.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, that's a beautiful...
So were you guys already in the art scene?
No, nothing.
Oh.
I had nothing. I had that's the irony.
So how, like, okay, wait.
Or
So-
we were in a different scene.
So wait a minute, Justice. Because Reclaimed Art Suppliez, for anybody who doesn't know what that is in Las Vegas, was in downtown Las Vegas in the Arts District, and it was a place that had all local artists' stuff plastered everywhere within the space, and not just that, but like different rotating exhibits, if you will. I don't even know what the right terminology is for it, but they were actual, you know, things that you could look at and go inside of a room and actually feel what's happening, you know, because like what was the one with the rape victims? All the rape victims, that one really touched the shit out of me. I was like, oh my gosh, because
there was the first one that came together that was so amazing was Women Hold Up Half the Sky.
Oh, wow. That's a beautiful name. That's
and
cool.
it was taken from something else because there was another, I guess, exhibit or something that had a similar vibe.
To it.
And
the whole room was transformed into...
Well, it started off a little intense. We had a disclaimer out to make sure because you
really?
don't want people to... You know,
Sure.
like there were little kids that come into Reclaim.
Yeah.
They
Right.
make art with garbage. They have fun. So,
Right.
you know, and it was
That's one of
for
the
a
things I
while.
loved
So I
about it.
didn't want someone who wanted to, you know, not necessarily present those images to their
Sure.
children, but, you know, but it was beautiful. It evolved from such a...
Like,
It was incredible. I was
and
so
the
moved in that
community
room.
just came together to make it all happen. It was just like an idea that transformed and brought people together and created so much healing. And then people got to write on a wall, and they got to go in a mirror and create inspirational quotes. I have a couple of them still.
So cool.
And I have one that's actually above my bed.
Great.
I hid them afterward.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I hid them in Reclaimed, all the different inspirational quotes.
That's cool.
And I put them behind like shelves and deep behind things and in weird places.
They're like Easter
so
eggs.
if somebody was like digging through stuff, they could find a really beautiful inspirational something.
That's pretty neat.
And these quotes were from rape victims, or?
They were just quotes. It was Maribel, I think, that had wrote all these different like inspirational quotes. Everybody put lots of things
People
together.
were just putting.
It just showed up.
Got you.
Their own personal experiences, but
and
in
their own
poetry
art
and different ways of doing it and expressing their story and frustration. And it wasn't just about rape necessarily.
No.
It was just like the feminine struggle.
It was
like
women
all things
hold
women.
up half the sky.
Yeah.
And it went from a transition of baby dolls that were not in very nice positions
Oh,
and being in a pretty
I remember
icky
this
spot.
exhibit now, yes.
And then it rotated around into this beautiful transformation of out of the darkness.
Oh, wow.
You know, a beautiful something emerges. And it was so many people's idea of what emerges out of the depths of pain.
Of all this ugly suffering that happens.
Yeah.
Here comes beauty.
Art comes from pain.
Light.
Art comes from two things. Art comes, usually in my thought process anyway, comes from deep wounds and transformation, but also from really beautiful highs of just love and awe.
Absolutely.
And enlightenment of some sort.
It's like the
absolutely
the awe.
Absolutely agree
What
with that.
Sorry, I'm going to digress for 1 second, but like I identify with painful art, like painful music and painful paintings and stuff like. So what art grabs you the most? What type?
Grabs me the most?
Yeah, and not necessarily. I'm not talking about painting or sculpture or just the vibe of that piece. You know what I'm saying?
Something that speaks to me is something that I don't know. Lots of different things speak to me. Depends on where I'm at in my life at the moment, honestly.
That's true.
Because art, again, is subjective.
Absolutely.
If I'm in a space where I'm creating and I'm feeling like I'm on a cloud and I'm feeling good, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be attracted to more of that vibration. But if I'm in a space of searching and longing and question and I'm kind of not sure, I might catch something out of the blue that wouldn't have caught my attention
something a little more darker.
That makes sense.
Maybe it darker or not, but I might just be in a different space, headspace. You know, sometimes you're caught up in your fantasy, so you're not really paying attention to the reality.
I can't imagine how you know, every time I went into Reclaimed, it's like time, it just flew by.
Because
totally.
It really was. As soon as you walked in the door, it's a vortex, and all of a sudden, hours are gone.
Yeah,
like,
or it would just be
wait,
like,
I was only supposed to be here for 10 minutes. Shit, I had to cook dinner, and people are depending on me. Homework has to be done. You know what I mean? But neglecting home and adulting because I got distracted by some stuff on the walls, you know? And it's just like, but not just that, but like the environment itself. It was so cool because it was constantly, every time I went in there, it was probably once a month, I would say consistently, maybe more, but
there was always something
different on the wall and in the rooms and some different exhibit happening that was just like, I've never been introduced to this before. I mean, it introduced me to so many,
I would say possibilities of art, because I really but loved going down there, just hanging out front on the open mics on Friday. You know what I mean? Like
the open mics were the best.
They were so much fun, and you know what? There was a lot of good artists, but I gotta say, the little kids were so awesome.
Yeah, and it was the sense of community, the sense of oneness, the sense of like we can all be our ridiculous selves
and hang out,
and we all, even if we don't have a dime, it's okay because we're all here just having a good time together.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's what was so beautiful about it, because you know we've come from a place before experiencing Reclaimed, and I do call it an experience.
Yeah, totally.
It's not a place to go. It was an experience, because I've never went in there and not had an experience. From the whatever it was, I would do yoga, trance, dance to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
yeah.
Anyway, to painting stuff with your kids. It just didn't matter. You know what I mean? It was just.
Or just writing your name in chalk out front, you know?
Right. Or just hanging out with the dog, watching people do stuff. You know, because it was so many people in there all the time doing stuff. And it was all different cool shit and colorful and sparkly and noisy, extremely noisy. You know what I mean?
I mean, some of the
It's so crazy because I don't know anything about art, but I knew that it needed to be there.
Be in a place.
And I just wanted to bring people there. Like I said, it's so simple. I just want to change the world. I think it's really easy. I think everybody else just gets caught up in the details.
Yeah.
You just went for it.
Just be fun.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Can't it just be full of love and grace and goodness? Like, why get bogged down on the bullshit?
I loved all the ideas that were shared on those open mics. Like, I heard poetry in there that changed my view on the world inside there from different people, and I have friends there that made those poetry. You know what I mean? Like, I met legit people that I know now that I wouldn't have known if we didn't stop by. Like, what are we doing tonight? I don't know. Well, what's going on in Reclaimed? You know, like that was a constant on the weekend, because for us and for Samantha, that was a big change in what we were going on, because we were leaving the conservative ideals of, you know,
GMO movement.
And the GMO movement, and we were really changing our minds on what community should be.
Yeah.
And that was a place where we could, you know, get our feet wet.
I feel so blessed right now. Because, you know what? Reclaimed meant so much to me, and it kind of evolved and turned into so many different things.
Sure.
But it was such a great space, and it did so many good things for so many other people.
So many people, Justice. It did. It touched my
so
life.
Stoked.
It touched my life beyond what you can even imagine, sister. It really did. And Nathan, and Eli.
Totally.
I mean,
so fun.
It was cool.
I want to do it again.
Me too.
Know. Well,
I know. I'm ready for next level. It's coming up, dude. Everything's coming
just be
together.
An entrepreneur on Happy Earth Market.
Yeah. Why?
Because that's what it is. You're Reclaimed, inspired Happy Earth Market.
That's awesome.
Because I'm going to have art on the wall. I'm going to have open mic nights.
Yeah.
Can you go? Yeah, I'll show you my business card. I haven't shown you that yet.
Oh, I saw it. You showed
okay.
me when I was here.
Okay, that's right.
Birthday.
Yeah, so you saw the back.
Yeah,
half the
awesome.
shit is your shit.
But you know what? You know what I was just saying? Like, art is the same thing as, like, business.
Right.
Everything. Life is art. That's why I like the idea of this reclaiming the artistry of life.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because everything is art. And I've been having so much fun lately making collage. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with it. I want to share them.
Yeah, I love it. I
love doing it. I'm having so much fun. Even for my mom, I was like, oh my god, this is the album cover for my life. I love it.
It was pretty rocking. I liked it too.
Good. I'm like, I'm ready to do more. I'm like, I'm evolving. But then I thought, everyone like hit me. You can't sell that. Those are all copyrighted images. Blah blah blah. And I go, but all art is inspiration from other art.
Right.
That's like it's time to switch our minds from this idea of competitive and into this idea of collaborative.
Right.
And how important that is, because you know what? I'd rather collaborate my art with your art than have to deal with all the weirdness. Like, let's just grow. Why do we have to sit there and like fight over who owns what?
It depends on the artist, though. Again, you know, because there are artists who are collaboratives.
I get it.
There are. They do exist.
But we can all collaborate
so they get money.
our life, right?
Yeah,
like, look at how our life can be. Like, when we can share resources.
Right.
We can collaborate together as a block, a neighborhood, community.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
A city.
Yeah,
maybe a country. Oh. Maybe a club. Who knows? It's endless. Never think too little. That's what I fucking say.
Macro, micro, as above, so below.
While you had Reclaimed, I have some business questions for you.
Okay.
So serious, bro.
I know. I feel all like, oh god.
Now it's time to get serious.
And now time to get serious.
The heavy question.
So, what was the inspiration? What was your initial intention? You wanted a space for artists and stuff, but what did you envision it to actually be? How did you think it was?
The original idea was
how did you think it was going to make money? Or
I didn't know how it was going to make money. I wasn't even worried about it making money. I just trusted that it was going to survive. I just saw a beautiful vision that had to make sense.
Nice.
And I didn't really work out the details monetarily because, one, I had my own aversion to monetary stuff because I had my own blocks because life took away everything that I owned.
Right, material stuff.
And so I hated money, and I hated money's grip on my life and society and how it was the controlling effort of everything. So I kind of mentally put a block on that.
On money?
Yeah, because not necessarily seeing it as a tool. Like, it took me going through this process of Reclaim to look at money in a different way.
Right.
It's a tool, like a hammer. is a tool. Sometimes you
That
need
makes
a
a lot of
hammer
sense,
to
yeah.
put in a nail, and sometimes you need money in order to get something done.
Right.
Yeah.
Or pay for
Pay a
something.
bill.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause
Pay
they
for
do
rent.
not pay for it in hugs. I've tried.
Oh, not yet though. We're working on it.
That would be sweet if you could.
Man, wouldn't that be great?
I'll come to your office right now, and I will come give you the best
Biggest
hug
hug.
you've
You're gonna
ever
love
had,
it.
and you will feel so good.
You
Just
might
give
even
me
cry.
10 more days. Please.
No.
No, doesn't work.
Yeah.
Even when they need it, it still doesn't work.
So you didn't think about money.
I wasn't thinking about monetary anything, which is probably not the smartest idea ever. But what I was thinking was that it'd all work itself out and that the money would just come. There'd be a way that society would understand that everything's going to be taken in as a donation. And so ultimately there was zero price point on any of the products that were there. So whatever you gave for it was worth it.
Oh, okay.
And it became up to you to get in touch with your honesty and your truth when you just see what's being presented in front of you and you give what you feel.
Did you think
that was my goal? Like, come on, people. But there were people that took advantage of that, and then there were people that didn't. And there were people that gave, and then over time I thought, oh, you know what, we could create a membership, we can create another way to do this. But my original thought process was that it was going to be a group of like-minded people running it together that were activists in nature, that wanted to do good for community. You know, they're willing to volunteer and just make it happen.
Yeah.
But in order for people to come in, because they needed art supplies, but then to get in touch with what was going on in their community.
Right.
Yeah.
So they could have access to, I really wanted there to be a suicide awareness hotline, because at the time we found out that there was a local one that had been dismantled, and it has to go to a national number now. And sometimes if people are looking for that, they go by a drill. You know, maybe someone really just needs to talk to someone.
Yeah,
and maybe that person who lives in Las Vegas will have a better way of communicating that.
Sure.
And I kind of understood, because there were friends of mine going through those types of things, and they said how that was important. And maybe there'd be an office in there that was all about community gardens and the GMO movement. So that way there'd be a hub for meetings and everything else that could happen. Yeah. And then we're getting all the art supplies. We could do some major activism out of this space.
Totally.
Like, come on. We could bring
did,
awareness in a major way.
You guys did.
Yeah.
A lot.
Wasn't there there was picket sign parties and all that stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was my
We had a lot of fun parties.
That was my favorite installation. Was
picket sign party.
There was picket sign parties, right? If I remember correctly.
It wasn't a picket sign party.
That's funny he calls it that, though. I like it.
That's
it's
fun.
Cute.
I had that was awesome. That was one of the art installations. I did the art of activism.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize that there's a scripted way that activists or
Absolutely.
how they put people in different ways.
We like to call that conform nonconformist.
Yeah. Conform nonconformist. Yes. Do it, don't do it. Red pill, blue pill.
How often did you visit your business plan?
I didn't have one.
Oh, at all.
See? That's why it failed.
Okay. Okay. You think that's why it failed?
No, but what I do know is that I had a business that I started with my husband when we had Harney Hardwood, which was our subcontracting business. And we didn't have a business plan, but we did really, really well, and we did great. And we had a great network of people working for us.
Sure.
And we did fine.
Kind of artists at the time, too, right?
Yeah.
Were you kind of in the artist
kind of it.
scene with the woodworking?
If that's an art form in itself.
Yeah.
Like Aaron's a master craftsman with what he creates. So for me, I just thought it didn't matter. It just had to be done. That's it. It had to be done. It was like this overwhelming urge that I couldn't control. It had to happen. Everything landed in the right place at the right time. Like I had gone on a trip with my family through the Pacific Northwest, and we ended up all over. We had a great time. We went to the Oregon Country Fair. It was transformative just as a family. And then we went to Eugene, and we went to this place called METCHA, the Material Art Community something. There's too many letters in their acronym to make sense. But it was a creative reuse store where they took in donations of garbage and art supplies and organized it in such a great way that people can come in. It was like a community center.
And actually use the stuff.
Yeah,
to
and the
make
friends
art.
I knew there were activists. They used that all the time for all their supplies. And I came from an activist background at that point. I had lost everything.
Right.
And was really pissed off at Wall Street. You know, they bailed out.
Right.
They
we
bailed
lost it
out
too.
the bank.
Right.
We lost it too, yeah. Anyways.
I had a business.
Yeah.
A subcontracting business
And
with
you guys-
20 employees.
Oh, so you
And
lost. Wow.
we were doing great things and helping people, and it was really
Sure.
important to us to make sure our guys got health care and like all the stuff.
That's
you know?
amazing.
And so we had to like. So I went from that to like, here's an idea that's artwork and bringing people together so that way more people become alive and aware and activate. Bridge community with art.
Yeah.
That's great. So
And so you just jumped right in.
Yeah,
How'd
and
you
it
sell
did
it?
its
How'd you
job.
sell it to the city?
I never talked to the city about it.
How did you? You just.
I just did it. I just rented the location. Why do I mean, I got I got a license.
Yeah.
And I had a friend of mine who does that for a living negotiate it with them because they like figure out, because there was no like.
You have to do.
There's nothing
something
for
special.
a creative reuse thing, so
Sure,
they
sure.
just basically said art store or art classes.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, okay, because art classes you can sell items like Art Suppliez if you
Oh,
sell
okay,
art
that makes
classes.
sense,
So I was art classes.
Okay.
And
cool.
that's what we did.
What you did, yeah,
I
exactly.
know we had all kinds of classes.
yeah,
Yeah.
tons.
And meetings.
Yeah.
A lot of meetings too.
Well, there were lots of groups coming there.
That didn't
and-
include any art.
Yeah, but it was super fun. And people came and gathered. People were just receiving help. I mean, they even have
Yeah.
laugh workshops. People were laughing together to help themselves heal.
Oh, wow.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So many amazing people coming together.
That was a fun time in Vegas because that cube was right down the street.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
had no idea about that going on.
Oh.
And I met like some
A lot of
amazing
people.
through that.
I-
Some people that are
Yeah.
lifetime friends now.
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
And it was Perfect Birth at the same time that was
Yeah.
going on. Reclaimed was happening. All of that.
All of
Yeah,
it
it was
was
a lot of fun.
happening at the same time.
Yeah.
GMO movement was happening at
Yeah,
the same
GMO
time.
movement was happening.
Everything was happening at the same time.
It was
and
fun, dude. It was a little scene for a little while. I was like, I didn't think it was ever going to end. And
I
I
didn't
remember,
want it to.
So great.
I don't believe in card readings. I see you have your card there.
These are
Yeah.
just they're fun.
No, but what I was going to say is that in that cube, some crazy lady, and I'm describing her the only way I can, just came in there and said, "You want your cards read to Sam?" And she was like, "Yeah." And this lady nailed her. And I was like, well, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Nate was freaked out. I was like, right on, that's so great. Thank you.
I was just gonna see. I already pulled what was there, but I was like, all right.
I mean, it was amazing. I was like, okay, I gotta go. But no, that sitting in that cube was an experience. Just listen to Chen's bands play and
It was so beautiful.
Yeah, that's where we met Chen. That's where we met everybody. Was at Reclaimed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh my God! But you know what? That place came together with community support.
Sure.
That place came together with volunteership.
Mm-hmm.
That place came together because we had a tear down the walls party and had everybody write on the walls all the things that were blocking them.
I
in
wish
life.
I could have
Yeah.
gone
And
to
we
that.
all just
I really
bashed the
wanted
walls.
to.
And no, I didn't get permits. Sorry. I didn't do
Fuck 'em.
anything by the books. I didn't do
just did
anything
it.
the way it was supposed to be done. I did what needed to be done because it needed to be done. And it all happened. And everything fell into place perfectly. And it was a passion that pulled me from my core.
Yeah, and it not just pulled you, but it pulled a lot of people, I think, because it brought, I know for me, and I know my experience is no different than anyone else's usually, because we're all the same, right?
Yeah.
My experience there was that it was a completely outside of my box that I'm used to being inside, because you exposed me to all these different,
Making her cry.
I don't even know what the right, like, not just like,
I needed this reminder. It's so good.
Good. I'm
Oh,
glad.
that's awesome.
But I want the audience to know what you built, because
Mhm.
what you built is something that inspired what Happy Earth Market is, and
Totally.
what once we have the space is going to be.
Yep.
It's going to be what you're doing. Only,
Yeah.
of course, we're going to have our entrepreneurs working there too, doing their thing.
That's the important part.
Yeah, but the space itself is going to have all this amazing shit going on that you have inspired. And I think, because we have nothing like that here in Henderson. And I think people miss Reclaimed, and I think if we have a space somewhere, even people from Vegas will come here to be there because they'll, because we miss it. I know for me, I miss it terribly. I cried my freaking eyes out. Ask Nathan. He'll tell you. And then look at, what's in my backyard is your sign. Yeah. Nate's like, hey, I got this for you. And I cried again.
I about lost it when he came in to get it too. I was like, kidding me. That was the hardest thing I ever did, closing that store. But now I know the psychology of it.
Sure.
Part of it. Entrepreneurs, did you realize that the part of your brain that flyers up and everything else is the same when you talk about your business is the same part of your brain as when parents fire up and talk about their kids.
Oh, same kind of pride.
And it's that same thing. So it makes it difficult sometimes to make the right decisions because of the fact that you're slightly biased. You're in that parental relationship with your business.
Yeah.
I've heard that, not in those words, but I've heard that.
Yeah. That just opened up a whole doorway to me. Learning that I'm all, I always called my business my special needs child. Now I understand why.
That's funny. That's what I
call our,
We interviewed before when I was going to school, and you were part of my final project. Yeah, you were my final project. Reclaimed was my final project. And
how cool.
Yeah, I have it somewhere. I got a B on it. Anyway, it's because I suck.
B's are great because you're being.
I think the teacher was mad at me because I was kind of like just adulting towards all these young kids that I was in school with. I'm like, hey guys. So yeah, after I'm like doing this, I did this little mom speech to them all.
Stay in school.
No,
sure
not at all. No, it was totally opposite actually. It was like, hey guys,
you don't need this place.
Don't try and figure out what job you need to do. Just do what you love to do and what fulfills you. And I went on this weird, awesome, graduation speech that I never got to tell. Awesome. So I was like,
that's when God takes over. You know what I mean?
In my 30s.
Totally.
These guys are right out of high school. Some of them are still in high school. Fuck them. I don't care. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's what got me the B. Because the presentation was beautiful. Anyways.
You're biased, though.
What you said to me was, and it stuck, because I really, really do focus on the words that you said to me. These were them exactly. Work on it, not in it.
Totally. It's so important.
Why is that important?
Because you get caught up in it. You get caught up in the details and all the stuff and all the drama and all the relationships. You get caught up in it that you forget to jump back, be in the bigger picture, and work on it and see how all of the stuff that's happening inside of it is working together to find the spots where you need to reweave things in a better way. I was so in it, I didn't even understand it had to make money. You understand?
Yeah.
I did, and it did, and it was doing it from the get-go. It was covering itself within 6 months.
Oh, that's really quick.
Which was like, are you freaking kidding me?
That's great.
That's hella fast.
But it was, and I could have kept that going, and it could have kept going, but what I learned from it is that there are all parts of ourselves that are our shadow selves. And if you don't know what it is or how it is or where it operates or how it flares up yet, it can work on things on a subconscious level and conscious level or subconscious level that you don't even realize, and comes out in little bits. But you got to be aware so you can use it for the ultimate good. I had a lot going on in my life when I was doing Reclaimed.
Yeah, well,
I was going through so many major things.
I was going to ask, how did you balance family and adulting with doing the business?
Balance is huge.
How'd you do it?
Crap, I didn't. I was out of balance, very much so. And then but I was working on it. I had high hopes and big intentions and thoughts of grandeur. And I've also equated a lot of it to numerology. If I look at the certain personal years I was in when things were happening and how it got sculpted and created, dude, I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
There you go.
But I got so caught up in focus of what I was doing that I tried to do too much too quickly.
Okay.
I knew I wanted my kids out of the school. I did not want them in the school system. But I was in Deep Henderson. I was in, not Deep Henderson, where was I? We're in that now. But I was at the nice school with them in elementary school, but all they cared about was the test.
Yes.
They were rude about everything.
Absolutely.
They were so mean, and they weren't very nice. I don't care if you're like the top schools in town, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You're jerks.
Right.
And they wouldn't, like, I'm asking simple questions like, hi, you have a really amazing garden, but yet only 5th graders can do it. Why can't we open it up to all the students? That way they can understand the cycles of growth in food, and then they can all be a part of it.
Right.
And instead of just the 5th graders who are leaving, and then you have a fence around it so no one can go near it and touch it. I was like, little things.
Yeah.
Or can't you treat my child with respect and not have a teacher who curses at them or is mean and all about the test? But they were mean.
Clark County
It's
School
Clark County.
District.
But not there's some what I did though brought me to a better understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I took them out of school. I was homeschooling, but I didn't really homeschool. I was unschooling. I was trying to let them figure out for 2 years, like, what do they love?
Yeah.
Right.
What do you like? Where are your interests? And I gave them a store full of stuff to create and make and do. And they got to have fun, and they got to see a lot of interesting classes. They did yoga. They did all kinds of stuff. So it might not have been like the smartest move. We did the computer K through 12 stuff for a little while, but that was hard, like for me to try to manage and trying to get help.
And do Reclaimed.
Yeah, way hard.
Sounds difficult.
Yeah, it was hard. I bit off a lot more than I can chew.
And
I
was
had high
Aaron
hopes.
still working too? So he wasn't always working at Reclaimed. I know he was there as often as he could, but he had a job.
Yeah, he had a job. And Quincy was my partner.
Uh-huh.
And she got to a point where she had to get a job too, and she had to work.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot put on me.
Mm-hmm.
And just it was too much. Do the whole business, try to homeschool all 3 kids, and then try to keep track of the ultimate intention of everything. And there was a lot of other stuff. I mean, a lot of other stuff personally going on too.
Sure.
But it did what it needed to do, and I'm really proud of it.
It created
bridged community.
I think it created a really big family is what it did. I really do feel that.
Or at least absolutely, because I think it put them together. People who wouldn't normally meet each other, they're into these things, but like it's Vegas, nobody talks to each other. So seriously,
it
created a place
family.
for people to get their feet wet. You know what I mean? And then through that, I still have fun. I go to the bonfires and I go to all these other events, and the only reason I even would possibly do any of that stuff because I'm a biker. I hang out with roughnecks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the only reason I'd ever do that is because I stayed in the water long enough there to get used to it.
That's
you know
right.
What I mean? Oh, these people aren't that fucking crazy. They're actually pretty fun.
Yeah, that's right. They're just like me.
Yeah.
And they dress awesome. I'm going to start dressing like them, and here I am.
Don't push it. I still don't dress that way.
Yeah. Look at your beard. Whatever.
That's true.
Well, it's a way of bringing people together. Art brings people together.
Absolutely.
Everyone likes to, create.
Well, it's colorful, and our world is full of color.
Yeah.
So it's fun to be around it.
It was such a good space. I'm really glad it happened.
I am too.
It can still keep happening. That's
Absolutely.
the whole point.
Well,
Yeah.
and like you
Reclaimed
were
is a
just
concept
saying,
that belongs to everyone.
you were just saying how art is not really unique. It's just collective. So I'm taking Reclaimed and calling it my own, only I'm changing the name to Happy Earth Market and adding a few
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Put my own sprinkles in it.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Every
Ultimately,
community
that's what it
needs a
is.
Reclaimed.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's the intention.
Yeah.
Because if communities have a gathering space,
Mm-hmm.
a place where they can create together,
Absolutely.
share together,
Just hang out,
eat
shoot the shit.
together.
Just hang out. Yeah.
Yeah, and just
hang
hang
out
out.
and be together with
It's
one another.
important.
Yeah. Without
Yeah.
having TVs or boxes, screens.
And sometimes it looks like a coffee shop.
That's what I was going to say.
Sometimes it looks like an art store.
I was just going to say that. Like when I was a kid, all of us little weird skaters went to the coffee shop, and there's punk rock, and there was spoken word, and there was weirdness, and we just got to hang outside and, like I said, smoke cigarettes and drink coffee and hang out. You know what I mean? Like, and it reminded me. I'm like, oh, this is just like that. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had high hopes as an activist. Just like, this is how we change people's attitudes towards each other.
Sure.
We find our commonality.
And to be honest, you did. Justice.
Justice.
Dun, 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 dun.
Get all mom
And
voice
it
on
means
her.
balance.
It's true. You did, because I'm just telling you, you literally changed my family's life with that place that you that space that you created changed my family's life.
I'm so
because
blessed.
we were inside this box that was very conservative, like Nate said, and you exposed us to a very non-conservative idea and ideals that, you know, literally allowed us to stop thinking the way we were, because we hadn't had that kind of perspective given to us before.
That's so awesome.
In that way, you know, in a comfortable environment where we can just be ourselves, but also hang out with people who we think are maybe possibly enemies because, you know, judgments or whatever is not exactly fitting with what we think is right.
You know what I love?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And come to find out, it's, you know, it's just cool to be here and hang out with all these people. And it allowed us to change our minds about a lot of things. A lot.
Well, change is the name of the game right
Hell yeah.
now.
Yeah.
We're in the midst of a lot of change.
Oh, yeah, I know. It was Thursday all week. So.
Did you feel that shift this week?
Thursday?
No.
What I'm saying is like, no, that's an inside joke, because literally every day felt like two to Sam and I and the guys I work with.
There was a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
I felt a quickening happening for me.
So what does that mean? Because like we've all felt like we re-experienced a day.
Yeah, exactly.
You re-experienced a day.
Yeah, like it felt Groundhog Day-ish.
Yeah, for one day.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Like
I had a quickening.
Like universe gained a day out of our asses this week.
Really?
Got an extra day of work out of you.
Yeah.
For me, when I say quickening, I think because I can see patterns in my life from the past that are kind of playing out again. But whoa, this is a lot faster than the other patterns. I feel like this is usual. So that's what I sense, like a quickening.
Okay.
The playback loops on our behavioral patterning is looping back faster and faster.
So ridiculous.
I believe we're coming into an extraterrestrial point of like, oh my God, it's going to bounce the other way.
Oh, I hope ET's come.
yeah.
I hope ET's come. That'd be amazing.
Something's happening. I'm not quite sure what.
Well, I know what happened yesterday.
What's that?
Chris Cornell died.
It's true.
I didn't hear all the details on that. I just heard somebody died, and I decided I didn't want to pay attention.
So I paid. Chris Cornell's one of my
scared.
heroes. You know what I mean? Like I grew up listening to them. You know what I mean? Soundgarden and all that's high school music for me. You know, but yeah, they're saying that he hung himself, but they're also saying that he was deep on antidepressants, and he was up and down, and antidepressants probably caused him to be suicidal.
Well, and then there goes the whole thing about the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
here we go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think it is super tragic that he killed himself. Why is it that we have to keep going to these amazing, like, musical legends and taking out their soul in such a tragic way? So sad.
I think it's
time to rewrite a story.
It's just a matter of people not being able to cope.
And I heard him on another.
That's all it amounts to. And everybody's lonely. We're all stuck on our cell phones, and we're not interacting because we don't have spaces to interact in.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean? And we're just so reclusive without even.
That's a good word.
We can be reclusive even though we're in a room full of people.
I watch it all the time.
You know what I mean? I do too.
Yeah.
Everybody does. Go to a restaurant and just look up from your phone. That's a
I have
joke.
made a conscious effort not to touch my phone at tables anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
I do that too.
And when I notice it, because I'm in business, I've noticed that I am on my phone dealing with clients. What these people are paying me, how more rude can that be?
Right.
And then you, my wife, and my friends, and then I'm just on fucking Facebook. My buddy's right here. What do I need to?
Right.
Stays in my pocket.
So we've really become less. We're lonely. We're lonely now. You know, because we're not really socializing with the beings that we're with here in the moment. We're outside of where we are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of it.
And the pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another part.
That, you know,
everybody's
so you look at the suicide rates, you know, majority of them are already on some sort of antidepressant.
Absolutely.
type of medication that has known side effects to want to kill yourself.
Well, the serotonin, what's the word?
Disruptors,
yes. They only work so long.
Right.
They only keep you antidepressed so long, and then it flip-flops, and nobody knows and you're messing with the brain. Nobody knows how it works. So
right.
Yeah.
And everybody's brain is different too, and everything is different triggers for people. People have different triggers, and people react differently to different triggers. So when you put a chemical substance on that, it's ridiculous, and it's horrifying what's happening in this country. The epidemic of people killing themselves because the medicines that their doctors
they're supposed to heal them
are giving them. These people are going to doctors because they are fucked up. They're lonely. They're lonely. They have bullies in their life. They're sad.
Did you say bullies?
Bullies.
Bullies?
Bully.
I'm teasing you, baby.
Bullies? Bullies.
I'm being a bully.
Bullies? You can close your screen.
I
won't do that.
That sets the show off.
I know.
We got to start again.
But no, these people have all these, sufferings happening in their life, and all they want to do is go to the doctor and get it off their chest and get fixed. They don't necessarily need the treatment of a chemical. They need to be able to talk. And they need to be able to be taught how to cope with the triggers.
So here's one thing. Prescriptions are being governed by the medical field, correct? And in traditional medicine, when someone has a body ailment or disease, there is some sort of something they can link that to. They can look at it under the microscope and they can determine, yes, this virus is present. Yes, this cell is cancerous. They can discover that.
They can see it,
But when it comes to mental illness or mental disease, there isn't anything that you can look at under a microscope or measure in order to find a consistency to accurately discern chemical uses in different people except by traditional trials. But everybody's so different because there's no way to actually look at it on the microscope.
Right, because emotions aren't something that we can see with the lens.
So doctors say what is or isn't right in the brain. How do we know that maybe particular serotonin levels or different things are important for a different evolution of the brain? Perhaps it's conducive to, some people say the seat of the soul is in the brain. Maybe these different hormonal disruptions are for soul evolution, not just necessarily for illness. You just have to be able to understand
you have to be able to go through your sufferings so you can grow from them.
And different people get different things put in front of them, right? So who's to say that this person's mental illness is something bad? There's so many different cultures that look at all these different things in different ways, and we've decided that, you feel sad and you can't help and you're feeling icky, and so let's give you this drug.
We don't even allow people to go through the regular grieving process anymore. Like if somebody's sad from their mother dying, we don't allow them to do the natural grieving process. Well, as soon as they're sad for a couple of weeks and they're not over it, the families typically insist they go to the doctor so that they can get put on something. But it's okay to be sad.
Someone else can help them get through it.
It's okay to be depressed. You're going to get over it. It just, but when you add that stuff to it, it's not going to help.
No. And it's unfortunate. And we lose people to suicide, and of course there's people that aren't on that stuff that also kill themselves.
Absolutely.
True.
But
there's a high volume of people that end up doing some pretty ridiculous things that are on.
And then they turn into truly mentally insane people.
And that's unfortunate. I believe you're messing then with the soul's process.
Right.
Let me interject for 1 second. I'll get vulnerable for a second. When I got home from the war, the VA immediately, before they even talked to me, put me on antidepressants, and they said they wouldn't even have a discussion with me until after I'd been on these long enough to get in your bloodstream, right? So after a few months of me walking around like a zombie, a literal zombie, like I didn't even know myself anymore. No, my typical reactions weren't the way I would react, and everything was fine and those kinds of things, right? I got to stop. But nobody told me you can't just quit antidepressants. Like, nobody said that. So I spent a weekend, actually it was a couple of weeks, detoxing on my own. And when you come down off of those things and they're leaving your bloodstream, you feel like somebody is zapping your head with a cattle prod. That's what it feels like inside your brain. And And I've never
terrible.
had thoughts like that before or since, I never had suicidal thoughts, but I had homicidal thoughts, and on the largest
Right.
scale. And I remember the only thing I could do was, and she knows, she was there, I was staying up all night because I couldn't sleep from these apps and writing Yahoo emails to her telling her these things so I could just get it out. Otherwise I wouldn't know if I'd act on them, but it was tough. And so, that's what happens to people. They try to get off them, and then they feel those apps and they get back on it. It's this cycle.
And then they go shoot up schools or whatever they do, because
that was what I was
every single one of those shootings has.
So yet again, we come back to the pharmaceutical companies.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what's their deal that they've got going with the VA right now to make sure they get all these drugs pushed in?
That's funny you should say that, because the VA is stopping.
Ah.
Yeah,
they're giving cannabis now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Only in Arizona. The trials.
Only in Arizona.
Trials
That's a great place to start if you think about
only
it.
in Arizona right now.
Right?
Yeah. But it used to be you would lose your VA benefits if you had cannabis in your system. But now, if I feel it, my civilian doctor feel, and this is in the country wide, if we feel that marijuana is the proper treatment for PTSD, you can't lose your VA benefits for that anymore.
That's awesome.
In a state that has
I'm so hopeful.
in a state that has legalized medical marijuana. Now, also in Arizona, I just learned this week, my friend, her nephew was crushed by heavy machinery. Right, like literally, he was working on a hydraulic system, and it crushed him. Right, he's gonna live. He's gonna have some problems walking, and he's gonna have a colostomy bag the rest of his life. But he's gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
But St. Jude's Hospital, St. Jude's Hospital in Phoenix, is treating his pain with cannabis.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Dude, I was fucking blown away.
That's awesome.
Like edibles, or you don't know?
She didn't know. The person who told me the story didn't know. I'm sure it's in a hospital, so it's probably pill form. They're probably those pill with extract in it. But the fact that they're doing it all blows my mind.
I have such high hopes. I've been seeing so many beautiful, but cracks in the darkness and little bits of light getting in so many different ways right
Don't
now.
apologize for that.
No apology.
It's okay to have
hope. I'm so excited. I have hope. I keep seeing these new little beacons of light in all these little places. It's so important.
Well, it's cool
great.
too. Here in Vegas, we're gonna have places where we can actually go hang out and
they
smoke.
just passed that.
We actually have places already.
But legal recreational smoke areas.
We went to a concert.
That's so awesome.
We went to a little mini concert and passing joints around inside the building.
100% legal. Yeah.
It was legal.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So weird.
It's pretty rad.
I love it. I'm just excited. It's just the future. That's
awesome.
The future. I'm Googling to see if that's true, though.
The Arizona thing?
The cannabis thing, because I'm kind of curious.
What are you Googling to see if Arizona's treating?
Up at St. Jude's.
Yeah.
Cheating his patient. Dude,
I don't know why
that's big deal.
I don't know why
would
she
she
would lie.
lie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the person that told me this.
But it's always good to verify. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
all that stuff out there about, fake
Touche.
news.
I don't want haters going on.
News.
Fucking liars. I work for the medical field in
That's-
Arizona. We do not do that here. You fucking liars. I'm gonna fucking write to you guys forever until you take this down. Fucking liars.
Do I sound like her? I was trying. That's what I was going for.
That's the other thing, to get back to, there's no, I don't have to look at you in the eye anymore to tell you to fuck off. There's no more personal interaction on that level. You know what I mean? It's just...
it looks like they...
Well, a disclaimer, we would have to look this up
We'll
and
look
figure
it
it
up
out to be
later,
right.
I guess,
Yeah.
whatever.
If we find a link, we'll put it underneath.
If somebody told us
the
this
description
happened,
of the
I
show.
hope it's true, though, because that's amazing.
That would be beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah, if they're giving it away in hospitals, like giving it to patients instead of morphine or...
They can't find a better anti-inflammatory. It doesn't exist.
That's awesome.
Period. Cannabis is the best anti-inflammatory, even if you're just using CBD without psychoactiveness. So I got to think the hospital would be interested in getting some swelling.
I would think it'd be
down.
in tincture form. They must be doing something if they were doing it. I watched something the other day online that was a whole group of nuns that all they do is take care of weed, and they grow plants, they make tinctures, they make medicine. They're they look like nuns, they act like nuns, they're like the nuns of
Are they
ganja.
really nuns?
But they're not Catholic, sanctioned by the Catholic. They smoke weed, they tend to their babies, they take care of it's like a whole. They're all in there.
They're like the weed nuns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weed
I
nuns.
think that's what they're called. They're like the Mary Jane nuns or something like that.
No way.
Yeah. And they wear the little outfits
Look 'em
and
up.
all the stuff. It's actually
Weed nuns. I'm gonna just see what comes up. Oh, no shit. Here it is. Playing it.
I'm telling you.
I'm in my mid-50s.
Sister Kate.
I live in the Central Valley
Oh,
of California.
look at her. Oh, dang. They
And
got
I'm a weed
pounds.
Dude, they
The Sisters of the Valley is an order of New Age progressive nuns, not affiliated with the Catholic Church.
She's smoking
We
a
live
pickle.
together, we work together, we pray together.
I watched this.
We wear the uniform to show severe respect to the medicine-making process. Our whole day, every day, is devoted to the business. We make cannabis products, balms, cannabis oil.
People writing checks to
We are
him.
dealing with terminal patients and cancer patients.
That's awesome.
Once you've experienced the growing with your own
They're
hands
growing it
and
outside.
the turning of that
Yeah.
into
Yeah,
medicine,
they
it
That's
is very
really
hard to
great.
walk back into a different
Earth
kind of life.
medicine.
It's time for the people to revive their spirituality, and we believe the path to that is through cannabis.
Nice.
Nice,
That was
right?
pretty cool. Yeah, weed nuns, 60-second docs. I put that on there.
Yeah, I like that. Isn't that awesome though? They're
That's neat.
connecting like with the spirituality of the
Yeah.
plant to the healing that it can bring. They grow it outside.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I love the idea of growing weed outside. Don't you
That's pretty
think?
dope.
I
don't
think
know.
so. You never know. Little bees coming
'Cause, like,
by, and they could be
yeah.
doing all kinds of
Have
stuff.
you seen
and
the bee
changing
weed?
stuff.
Yeah.
The bee honey?
Yeah, I was
No.
about to
Or
talk
weed
about
honey,
that.
I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they train bees to
See if I can find it.
seek out
Cannabis.
cannabis and pollinate, and whatever, take
Bees are awesome.
take
Oh,
the
man.
pollen and make
How do you
cannabis
train
honey.
bees?
It's insane.
This guy trained his bees to
Yep.
make honey from
There you
weed.
go. Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
There he is.
They're like a whole new generation of bees.
I lost it. Where'd it go? Wonder if it's on a video. Yeah, here it is.
You guys looking for the weed nuns?
Oh, we already got
No,
the
we
weed
already
nuns.
got
Sorry.
We moved on.
We move on from weed nuns to weed priests.
No.
No, weed nuns
Weed honey.
to weed honey.
Oh, weed honey is
Yeah, that's
awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, it's on.
No, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, it's cool.
it's on weed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a picture of bees.
Oh.
It's bees literally totally all
Literally
over the-
pollinating marijuana.
Yeah, they're like all inside the marijuana.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
They
neat.
just bring their little heavy, like, hey guys, come on out, just chilling here.
That's pretty neat. Yummy. I wonder how that tastes.
Probably delicious.
I'm sure it doesn't have any THC
No,
in it.
it doesn't have
stuff, but
THC and it
probably-
doesn't-
I wonder if
doesn't-
it tastes like flour.
That's a good question. I don't know. We watched that whole thing on it.
I don't, yeah, I don't know.
1
So, where are we at?
hour even.
1 hour even? Do you want
Mhm.
to take a break real quick? Go outside, take a fresh breath.
I'm cool with that. 'Cause
Okay.
Yeah, I figured.
Take a break for a minute.
Pee break. Pee break. You say honeyweed? That was a nice break. A little outside smoky doke.
Yeah, it took a second.
Yep.
We're good to go on
I
that.
had to pee too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That worked out though,
Yeah,
right?
It was perfect.
Well, because so we got to talking about this thing called Open Project, which was something that was at Reclaimed Art.
Yeah, the
Hey,
Open Closet Project.
What did I just
The, the
He
OCP.
said the open project.
The Open Closet Project. The
Sorry.
OCP.
We did just come back
You
from a
down
break.
with you know
Yeah, you
me?
know
Just
me.
saying.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
you
down
know
with
me.
the
We did just
OCP.
come back from a break. Go on. Okay, so Open Closet Project.
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, the Open Closet Project was and is, because it still exists, it just doesn't necessarily have a
Home.
home,
Mm-hmm.
was a connection that I made through an activist that I know who has an amazing space downtown. He connected me to Brianna and Allie, and they had this idea of the Open Closet Project. So I had to click it all together.
Okay.
We saw the wheels turning.
Sorry. Yeah, I know. Hold on. So the Open Closet Project was an amazing space where it was just a big giant closet, tops and bottoms, clothes.
Right.
And people would donate clothes. The idea was to trade clothes for clothes and using clothes as currency.
That's cool.
But it had people bringing in large amounts of donations of clothes and people being able to take clothes. And the best part about it, I was talking to you guys outside,
Yes.
is that it brought everyone together.
It did.
Yeah, and I would, like you said, you'd see things online where it was an item of your clothing that either got mixed into a costume or someone was wearing it.
It was so cool.
Yeah, I would see people walking down the street. I'm like, oh wait, that was my top. And, oh yeah, that was so-and-so's skirt.
Just
I
random
totally
things.
wanted that. Like there was a lot of things that connected us together.
As the owner, did you like grab the good stuff? Like,
oh, totally. I had first dibs on anything. Of course,
coolest
I'm
clothes.
there.
I saw her
I had the
clothes.
best clothes ever. Did you not see
Her
that?
costumes were always the prettiest. So were her kids.
I love clothing. It's one of my.
especially free clothing.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
But you were talking about somebody that was.
It helped a lot of people. We had a lot of people that lived in the area by Reclaimed, and not only did we all enjoy it, but it helped a lot of people. We had an overabundance of clothes, and I thought it was interesting. You know, we met bringing in the backpacks for the homeless,
Right.
And what I learned to start kind of calling it's like nobody's homeless. Everybody's got a home.
Yeah.
They're houseless. They don't necessarily live in a house, and they maybe choose to live somewhere else.
Right.
And I came to have a kind of a fun relationships with a lot of people around Reclaim, people that were houseless too.
Yeah.
And people that just live in different means. They just travel. They just move in a different way.
Right.
And Reclaimed worked as a great place for them to use the Open Closet Project to trade clothes and get rid of things and get new things and throw away things that just needed to get thrown away. A new wardrobe change was in order. It worked out well.
Neat. Did you allow them to change and stuff inside?
Sometimes in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I had one guy, oh my God, he was changing like in the thing. And I was like, dude, and I'd already warned him a couple times.
Oh,
about that. In the closet. I was like, go, like, we have a bathroom.
So just
you know what I mean? Like, I have children in here for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because the closet was like it was open to everybody. You could just walk in there. Yeah, it was not like it was a part of the store.
And it was in the back too, in the middle, but in the back. But sometimes people, I forgot, I locked someone in there once, which was pretty funny. I didn't mean to. I felt really, really bad.
How long was she locked in there?
She didn't even know she was locked in.
Who was this person?
So, like I said, we had a lot of different people that would trade. So people would trade clothes, but a lot of people would trade time. So they would come in, and when we had lots of donations, they'd just take their time and they'd organize it all. And they'd just take whatever they needed. And I was like, whatever you need, just take. You need it more than anyone else, so just take it.
Right.
And I had a couple different ladies that used to come regularly, but one used to come all the time, and I still see her around. I wish I remembered names better.
Ugh. Weed, man.
No, it's just something about names suck. Yeah, it's an issue. Is it a weed thing?
I think
Maybe.
it's a weed
okay,
thing.
Then I guess I'm guilty.
But that's okay. We're all, if
whatever.
nobody
I
remembers
love her.
your
I
name,
can
you know
picture-
they're weed people. Okay, remember?
You might smoke.
Yeah, but I had to go pick up my kids from circus because they were at the center, and they had their circus class, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta go pick them up, and I like locked up really fast and like drove to go get them, and then they were hungry, so I had to go pick up something. And we made another stop, and then I was like, ah. We came back and we got to Reclaimed, and I opened the door, and I was like, oh shit, halfway through, oh my God, that one girl is in the back and thing, and I ran out so fast. And I ran in. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Was she still back in there looking
yeah,
at the
her head
closet?
just like lifted up. What? Huh? You were gone? I was like,
oh God.
Okay, cool.
Never mind.
We're good.
I had free reign of the store. I could have done anything.
I could have done cartwheels.
She could have like anything, because we always kept the donation
That's so
jar,
funny.
everything. Like, but people were just honest and good, and which is good people.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing. It was all based on trust. I never felt that anyone was ever there to cause any harm.
I never felt that way.
It was all about just
Did you
embodying.
guys ever get robbed or anything stolen money-wise? Never. That is
Cool.
I
rad.
never
That
had
is good to
anything.
hear.
I'm sure things disappeared, maybe like a little.
But it's
there was
reclaimed.
so much crap. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, we had a lot of stuff that was just like stuff. So
So you didn't
but
do
my
inventory,
thought was-
is what you're saying.
No, because it was all donations. And I just kind of figured, you know what? If they needed it that bad,
yeah, it's
then
theirs.
they needed it that bad. It didn't cost me anything to get it,
Sure.
so then it belongs to them. And karma will come back if it was through a, ill intention.
Sure. Sure, yeah, totally.
Your truth will
It'll get 'em.
prevail.
Totally.
You got to live with that lie, sir.
That's
yeah,
right.
exactly.
Your karma's
Not
gonna
mine.
catch you. Well, you got,
Direction.
but like during the during one of the open mics, and I don't remember his name, and I probably couldn't
Yeah.
pronounce
Well, the guy
it
that
if
played
I
all the
tried.
different instruments
The
and
flute and
yeah,
stuff?
yes.
That would be Tygel.
That dude was rad.
Tygel.
Tygel
Okay.
is amazing.
Do you still have contact with him?
I'm sure I could probably wrestle with
and-
that.
Go ahead,
but
go ahead.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Did he kind of influence a lot of like, because it seemed like once he kind of came into Reclaimed, you changed. I felt
Really?
because you started kind of looking at Native American stuff and bringing it way into Reclaimed.
You know what? I don't think he brought it in. I already had a connection to Native
did
American
you?
stuff.
Did you?
So
That's your connection.
Yeah,
Maybe
that might
was
be
my
your
connection. Yeah.
I when I was
Thank you for that.
so when I was an activist,
Yeah.
being my activist self, we did a it was during the Occupy movement. It was F-17, so February 17th. There was like a organized action across the United States to bring attention to ALEC, which is the American Legislative Exchange Council.
Okay.
Yes.
And so we, as a group, decided that we wanted to target NV Energy because NV Energy was a member of ALEC.
Yes. I didn't know that.
And yeah,
Wow.
they were. I don't know.
Can I explain what ALEC is real quick?
Yeah, go for
ALEC's
it.
one of many organizations that doesn't only lobby, but they write bills and give them to senators based on what they want and that their clients want, which are big business. And so bad, ALEC is so bad that some legislators have not even taken off the ALEC letterhead when they put in these bills. Like they
basically write legislation.
Absolutely,
It's all corporations.
It's corporate legislation. Absolutely.
Although a lot of corporations are backing out of ALEC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. Well, this was during a coordinated action around the Occupy time, so it was 2012.
Were you part of Occupy or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
So that was just me waking the fuck up and
Right.
going like, oh my God.
We all were.
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? You're bailing the banks out? Like, I'm working my ass off. I got people here. My kid was born in 2008.
I have 20 fucking employees.
I have 20 employees. I've lost everything. Are you fucking kidding me? You're giving the banks what?
And they won't reduce my loan so I can rent it and move out of the shitty neighborhood.
I'm like, well, I was in a decent neighborhood,
That's what we were
I was
doing.
like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, that will play us up.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see why you would jump into the Occupy thing then.
Yeah, but we were doing an action to bring stuff to attention to ALEC, and during that rabbit hole of discovering, oh my gosh, NV Energy is about ALEC, blah 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 blah, we discovered that they were connected to our coal burning plant up with the Paiutes up here, and so the Gardner Station. Coal burning plant that's right in front of the Moapa Paiutes, like 2 football fields away. They store coal ash and it blows it. They actually just closed it.
Oh.
So officially. So this is going on. So this is back when I did an action. So that's how I got my personal, like, real core roots with connecting with Native Americans.
Oh, okay.
So
as an activist.
So you interacted a lot with the Paiutes then, or
not a lot? I went to them to bring them in on this action because I wanted their story to be known, and that was one of the first times I got I went to go visit the entire place, and first time I really felt connected to the earth too. There was a profound change in me. I couldn't breathe standing there. It was just this constricting thing. It took me days to recover from being there. It was I wasn't very much aware of my sensitivity level to just understanding and connecting with trauma. And it was really interesting. And so being able to bring them into that action, we created like a coffin, and we did a whole like, let's bring it to NV Energy and deliver it to their door, like hardcore,
I love it.
You're you're killing people by having this thing up here. And people have enlarged hearts, massive emphysema. They can't even, they used to sing outside for 3 days when someone would pass, but they couldn't. They'd only sing outside for 1 day, and then they'd have to go inside to their lodge in order to sing the rest of the days because the air's so bad there.
Jeez.
I mean,
I had never heard any of this.
Yeah, an ill wind blows. There's a documentary on it, but they just closed it. So so it's from the 1960s is when this coal burning plant was built here.
Yeah.
And just
I didn't even know it existed before today.
Yeah, they originally gave like they said, oh, we're going to build this and we're going to give you work and it's going to be great and everything's going to be awesome.
So they
in
sell
the
it.
60s and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But what I discovered in that process is that there's been so many times that our government or corporate officials that are looking for something else have really used the resources in ways of just really pushing our Native Americans here. So that was my first real connection. I had tapped on it through other activists I've known through my time that have been doing some real intense things, but whoa, I felt it.
Yeah.
So that's my connection.
That's really cool. and I only assumed it because it seemed like the themes within Reclaimed like just changed.
Well, maybe it's the artists that come because it was theirs.
Yeah,
right?
it was everything always shifted
maybe
depending
that
on
had to
who
do
was
with
there.
It. Maybe, yeah. Thinking that you had control of that.
Even I
Me
knew that.
thinking I had control at all was part of the problem.
So
I
it was
had
just
to
the
really let
influence.
go of control.
So you got involved with No Dapple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
What
happened.
did you do?
Yeah, just tell us the story from beginning to end.
Yeah.
That just kind of spontaneously happened because I was crossing paths again, just following those moments of intuition.
Yeah.
There's been times of my life when things just come up and I know it just has to be so. And I knew it had to be so. I went to go help my friend Penelope Pandragon go to the fairy world, and I got to embody a really fun character called Zany Zenny, who's a fairy to help people with their wishes, right? And so I was super having fun.
Right.
It was awesome. Are you kidding me? I could teach people the power of their language.
Oh, wow.
Teach children to make wishes properly. It was so awesome. And it's at Fairy World in the middle of like the Pacific Northwest. It was so awesome.
There's a place called Fairy World where they teach you how to wish.
Well, that's one aspect of it when you meet Penelope Pendragon and her funny sidekick, Zany Zenny. But I was just on my way back from that and going through a lot of clearing personally and met up with my friend and just happened to cross paths. She had said something that it could be happening, a friend needing help to get a ride out there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm down. I will drive. I will do whatever you
Whatever
need
it
me to
takes.
do. I wanna be in service and be in assistance. I'm like humbled to do whatever I can.
Right.
And so there was other things going on in my life and I kind of needed an exit.
So a little space.
A little bit of space, but I had just kind of gotten, it was just meant to be. So when she made the call, she said, I have a friend who's having a baby and she has several other children and she needs to drive from Eugene or Portland or wherever they were at to get into there. I was happy to be able to help.
Yeah.
It didn't work out that way. That's not who I drove up and how it all happened. Like a lot of other stuff happened.
Sure.
And it was interesting. I got on a plane and went out there and there was all these connections for me numerically with things.
Yeah.
It took a while. Like everything had to connect and gather
So
donations.
you got donations to take up there.
Yeah, so I was there. We had different donations. We brought some things up there. I think we bought a yurt up there.
What?
A yurt?
What is that?
What's a yurt?
It's like a tent thing.
What was the vibe like? So when you got there?
So when I got there, the drive out there, all the different things, the vibe was awesome. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really wonderful experience. I enjoyed it immensely.
That's cool.
Met a lot of beautiful people, a lot of people from a lot of different areas, had a lot of wonderful conversations. It was great.
Yeah.
What was a typical day like at the camp? What did you do to help?
I was just helping the people around me. So whatever was in front of me, I was just trying to help the people that were there. So in the beginning, I was helping setting up a tent for the people I drove out there, and she had some health issues and needed to be comfortable. I wanted to make sure she had her cot, so I had to go through and find all the different things to make sure she was okay. And then I just kind of went to different meetings. I discovered people that were young kids kind of like trying to organize some things and putting up stuff on a board and organizing, and just wanted to sit in. It was interesting. I think it turned into more of a spiritual quest. I went out there with an idea of I'm an activist, but it turned into more of a spiritual experience than an activist experience.
That happened in Chen too.
It also had its own layers of activism in it too. It connected to things like I know through my gut intuition that somebody that I had met through the process had very ill intention and even different things, and these young kids that don't really know about how there are different people and places with different intentions that are hired to be there. They're not just some form of intelligence agency. They're paid for by corporations to be in spaces. And it's important to realize that as much as we want to change the world, the threat is real.
Yeah, absolutely.
But being able to trust your instincts and have good discernment and being able to share and be honest and trust yourself when you think you know and not freak out all the time about stuff and just kind of like go with the process, because fear can lead us down some crazy roads.
Right.
Does me for sure.
Yeah, but as long as you kind of stay attuned to your heart and your love, and it's going to be okay.
What were the meetings about? And like, what kind of activism was happening? Did you see anything?
I just was seeing people, just basic organization. It was kitchen stuff. It was basic organization.
So it was just people taking care of the people
there. Yeah, it was, like, again, the creation of a village.
Sure.
So what I saw through the Occupy movement was a creation of a village, the creation of a community. People that had each other's back, that were there to help each other, bring the things and items and work together that you need.
That's
Next
cool.
layer, boom. Right?
So it can be done.
It's bringing people together under the same cause, and it was uniting them. People and tribes that had never been together were together. It like
that
washed
beautiful.
out stuff. The things that I saw go on at that sacred fire.
Oh, wow.
People were releasing. I mean, it was claiming of unjust and releasing, and watching the sky pour down with rain as someone is like bellowing out to the fire the things that they're letting go in their life and who they were as a person and all this stuff. And then as they're finding the strength to stand up, watching the sky part and like sun come down, I was like, are you kidding me?
This can't be real.
This is the most like, this is beautiful.
Right.
And then, like, for me, the moment I'm like, well, you know, I really would love to connect with some women, and I don't really know where to go. I was on my own a lot. And then all of a sudden I see a circle of women forming over by this large group of teepees.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, oh, okay. And going over there and seeing that these were great people, and then being able to have my first ever sweat. I've never had a sweat before.
Oh, really?
And it was with these women that I had embraced and met, and there was people of different cultures. There was another white woman. I wasn't alone with that, but she was a healer and she spoke Lakota.
Wow.
And then there was another woman that was amazing, and then there was the elder that conducted ceremony, and it was just such a beautiful experience. And I'm humbled to have been able to be the the person
there,
driving.
yeah.
To be honest, I just felt like I was there to protect the people I was driving in, so they didn't have fear getting in there.
Yeah.
And I drove back roads, and I did whatever it was to make them feel comfortable. My only goal was to make sure they felt safe.
Nice.
And drove in and got them in there, got up their tent, and then I was just like, what's next? I tried to do what my job was to attend to a woman who was having a baby. But I couldn't seem to get that to connect, which was really frustrating. Because like my phone, like you go to get like things, it was such a weird thing, but I couldn't get in contact with her, and part of me was like, she's right there.
Right.
I can't get
She's in
there.
the tent next to you. You just
like
haven't
she's
seen
literally
her.
right there, but
Right.
I don't know which right there, and there's certain
yeah.
areas you don't really just go walking through. You have to be
Understood.
respectful.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, and then of course there were different camps there, so you have to be respectful.
Sure.
So
Did
it
you
was beautiful.
witness
How
or
neat.
participate any of the act? You just stayed there to help.
I did not go to the front lines at all.
I
did
like
not
that.
do any of that. I
yeah,
just
that was
stayed
their
back.
deal. You were just there to support.
I was just there because at the time a friend of mine needed someone to give someone a ride to help take care of her kids.
Oh, it's so simple.
She was pregnant
She was
because she was going to see her family
Yeah.
because there was stuff going on, and she's,
Yeah, I understand.
you have a baby.
Yeah.
She has a bunch of other kids, and they're traveling cross country. I have past experience as a doula. I've been on home births and hospital births, so I have like actual ability to help just in case.
Right.
So that
Right.
was my intention, and then it was so synchronistic, everything that happened to get there.
How long were you
Oh.
there?
I know I left on the 9/9. And I came back before Winter's birthday, and her birthday's on the 24th, so the 23rd. So that was my time experience. Not necessarily all there. It was
Yeah.
all
Sure.
trying to
Driving
get there
and-
and
right,
driving
right.
and then getting out of there was like
Oh, hard?
what? Well, I had to just trust. Everything had to connect. It was so wild. It was a total surreal experience.
That's cool. How long did it take you to get there? How long is the drive?
We drove straight really quickly, and I drove from Oregon, and I just drove. The only time we stopped was for a couple hours to like sleep in the car one time.
So it was an overnight trip then?
We just kept going. I would say, but it was a couple of nights because we left at 11 o'clock at night, and then there was driving, and then... And
I could see how that's a blur.
Yeah, it's a total friggin' blur. But we came in on the full moon.
Oh, wow.
And it was an amazing full moon. It was like the biggest moon I have ever seen. And I was driving in just going, whoa.
Oh,
and
wow.
And that one night that we like slept in the car, I did not sleep. I literally felt like I was on patrol because my dreams were walking around the car.
Oh, wow.
I was walking around the car. I was not in a... I was in a small town that just didn't feel safe.
Probably wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
My whole, that's what I'm saying. It was like I did not sleep. I dreamed I was walking around.
I always trust those feelings.
Paranoia can be a healthy emotion.
You know, sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's instinct.
Like, it's instinct. It goes all the way back to when, Tiger was going to kill you if you slipped up at night. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, and I just felt like my job at that time was to protect the people that I was driving.
She had a mission.
I had a mission. I was on like total, and I have a tendency to do that. Like
I can tell.
Straightforward, focused.
once.
And then once I'm relieved, I'm like, God.
All energy, then crash.
Yeah, that's why balance is so important.
Balance is one of the most important things, I think. Like, it's hard.
Balance was one of the cards that got pulled on me.
Oh, is that right?
Balance,
Do you want to pull one?
Yeah, I would love to pull one. She brought her cards.
I just brought these are just the crystal ones. I like these right now because they're simple and kind of just give you the one word.
So what's the difference between the cards? You say the crystal ones are simple. These have crystals on them, but what?
These ones are just, I like working with them. It's just, each card is different. Some have a lot of imagery on there, so you can really look into and you can see like, ooh, let's dive in and see what we can see out of this.
Yeah.
But some of it's just a word. Like, it's not, like, let's just, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to dive too deep in order to get sometimes the answers you seek.
Right.
Sometimes you just need to kind of look at things just as they are. And when we get overly into how things we think they could be or whatever, and we lose our mind.
And expectations.
Yeah, so why not? Oh, you know what? I just didn't, do it very good.
So how does this work? Because I'm about to pull a card out of a deck for people who don't know how this works.
Are these tarot cards?
They're kinda. So these are, let's just call them that. They're tarot cards.
That's
so they're
what
not
people
really
know them as.
Yeah, people know them as tarot cards, but a traditional tarot deck has certain kinds of suits and symbols.
Understood.
This isn't. These are just cards that all have different crystals on them.
Okay.
And with that, all they do is kind of bring in a thought, a idea, a word, or something that you might want to just think about. And what I've noticed with them is they kind of just add an exclamation point onto a conversation. So, hey, it's kind of a good thing. Let's just see what we've been discussing. We're discussing a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
But what do we need to learn? What do we need to learn from this experience? What is it that we're supposed to be honing in on? Because there's always a directive.
What's the thread?
Yeah, what's the thread? Oh my God, threads.
So many connections, bro. You don't even know.
So we get two.
Once you start paying attention, there's no going back.
So we get two things because I just pulled a couple cards. And what it comes down to is meditation. So that's a good one, right?
Yeah, meditation always helps.
Can't be mad at that.
Right?
And all meditation really is just getting quiet with yourself.
Yeah.
And allowing yourself to be open to receive guidance and received insight, but discerning, how that comes in is important. So you can learn a lot through meditation with that. The next one we got, which is gold, I guess. It's manifestation.
So that's a good one.
I think that is
a good one.
Yeah. And when we are in meditation, we can use a form of manifestation. We can do all kinds of things in meditation, but be mindful of where our thoughts go, right? Because where our thoughts go is what we're creating.
That's correct.
Yeah, so meditation makes you think of thoughts. At least it does to me, because I try to get rid of my thoughts, but that's impossible.
You can't turn off thoughts.
No.
I don't even try when I meditate anymore. I just let it go.
Yeah, that someone once told me to think of when you're in meditation, you're sitting at a train station or a bus station, and every time, you're breathing, you're trying to be aware, right? But every time a thought comes in, it's like a bus pulling up or a train pulling up.
It distracts you from your breathing.
And you can either go take it,
get on the bus,
or you can stay right there in the station.
That's a cute analogy. I like that.
Yeah, and if you realize,
get off the
crap,
bus.
I'm on the bus, or oh man, I just took that train. That thought train just took me off. All right, going to go back to the station.
I love the moments during meditation where I'm totally gone, where I don't even realize I'm meditating anymore, that you're just so deep, and you're still thinking, you're still running through these thoughts, but you stop being aware of your thoughts.
Yeah.
And I love that. And then when I realize that I'm unaware of my thoughts, I become unaware that I'm unaware. I'm aware that I'm unaware, and then it blinks me back, and I'm like, damn it.
Oh, and then
why did I do that to myself?
What's fun about some meditations, though, is it's okay to be aware.
Totally.
It's about awareness.
You can be completely thoughtless. We'll say that word. And I mean thoughtless in the fact that you're not thinking of anything. There's zero thoughts happening. And even feelingless, where you're not feeling anything either. You're just present and aware, but you're completely shut down everywhere else in your mind. And that's where my favorite kind of meditation is to be, because then you can really just sit there and focus on just your being and your breath and what's around you. Like, that's it. What's around you, because that's all you got anyway, right?
Yeah.
What's in our little circle that we can actually see and hear, this is really all that exists, literally, right now for us, right now. This room right now is the only thing that exists.
Period.
So when I get in that kind of a meditation, it's not a...
Yeah, but I don't...
It's not an aware... It's not a... I don't know. It's not that kind of manifestation, because that would require thinking.
I've never seen anybody that goes right into deep meditation as fast as you do.
Thank you.
And I'm not being biased. I'm just like, how the hell? Like, it's an immediate thing.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be at a place with hundreds of people, and it's time to meditate, and you're just like, how the hell?
I love meditation. I do.
Who
but
doesn't?
There's different ways to do it, but manifestation, I'm trying to think of how I could do that through meditation, because my favorite meditating is just the awareness type.
And maybe directed meditations.
I think what it's letting you know is that during your times of meditation, contemplation, when you're releasing maybe, just being aware of your thoughts. You are manifesting what you think. And even when you take like the thought trains, you got to be aware of that. Like, how much energy do you want to put that? And when you're in a state of meditation, your brain is at a different wavelength.
Totally.
So, be
mindful.
Be mindful.
Yeah.
But also pay attention. What if during that meditation, you're getting a glimpse? You're getting something, and that's your hope. It doesn't have to end up being whatever it is that you see, get, feel, or experience, but maybe it just feels really good.
Yeah, totally.
That
and
feeling of
that
bliss.
Flow.
Yeah, and go with that feel good. Yeah. Just manifest.
Nate, you should pull some cards.
Ooh, you want
Yeah.
Yeah, pull a couple cards. Nathan's really afraid to do
Those
this.
cards aren't scary. They're just rocks.
Yeah, they're just rocks.
Okay.
So here, let's move this one over.
It's the whole experience of the typical tarot card.
I have
What is the typical tarot card, do you think?
Fake psychic on the side of the road that I just don't buy into at all.
So what does that mean?
That means the lady with the fake gypsy hut on downtown Las Vegas. I'm not buying it.
I get that. That, I think, okay, sometimes some of that stuff is definitely there, like just to get you to put some money in the right direction.
Right.
But I do think what's interesting about tarot, or tarot, however you want to say it, is
that
it's
I like tarot. That's just me.
It's just another tool.
Sure.
It's just another tool. It's just another way of tapping into your subconscious mind or into a higher form of self to maybe help direct you onto a different thought perspective. And being able to trust that perhaps that guidance was necessary, or maybe not. It doesn't matter. It's all about how you choose to process it.
Yeah.
Like your own little sounding board. So in a So
Nice
in
analogy.
like a
She said little sounding board.
yeah, like your little
pat on the head.
I loved it.
It depends on like how you
So
want to do it. The
any
best
card?
thing, yeah, but I always say use your left hand, because your left hand is connected with more of your intuitive side. So left is always good. And then you just pick. And my thing too is that, what do I need to know right now? What am I supposed to think about? What am I supposed to get out of this?
So
Why
you
am
have
I
to kinda-
pulling this card? You
Some
can think of
intention's
something.
required.
I think intention's important
Yeah.
because then it's helping to guide you. If you just go, you can do random. Okay, what the heck you got to say? But then it's not really giving you anything meaningful.
It's like asking the magic 8 ball.
Yeah, totally. Ask the magic 8 ball.
Okay, let's ask that magic 8 ball.
Oh, that doesn't work in a yes, no way.
Do I hand it to you? What's
Yeah.
happening?
Oh, you got spiritual awakening.
Oh, god damn it. That's a lot of responsibility.
Awesome.
What's the-
Oh my goodness. You know what? I have the little book for these ones too. These ones have
How do you say
great
this?
things in
Selentite? How do you say this?
Oh, that's selenite.
Selenite.
Selenite. I actually have selenite with me, which is kind of interesting.
That's
because
weird.
I don't
Weird.
carry a lot of
Th-
crystals with
That's
me.
not
But that
weird.
one, I know, right?
I don't believe in those. They don't exist.
Oh, well, hold on a second. I'm totally gonna get
Okay,
it.
good.
Okay, yeah, please get it. I'd like to see it. Selenite.
Let me see it. Oh, that's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual awakening. Ooh.
That's cool. I don't want to be spiritually woken. Too much
Oh, look
responsibility.
at it.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Looks like kryptonite.
I know. It's very linear.
That's pretty.
That's super cool. I
It
like
has
the
a lot
cut.
of, has a lot of striations. It's kind of like glass in a
Yeah,
way.
it's a
If
little-
you think about how the lines.
Like a foggy glass, you know?
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
And
it's
it
amazing.
comes, naturally, it just grows in these long lines.
Oh, it does? Like a stalactite?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
not like a stalactite. It's formed in the ground. It
Okay, but
doesn't
just
drip. I
like
don't know.
straight veins?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's interesting. The geometrics of crystals are what kind of help it with its personality. That's what I'm discovering, and I'm still
Oh.
getting used to this whole understanding of crystals. But that's what I'm discovering. Some of their shapes. It's about how they direct energy. And selenite is connected with divine energy. That's why
Nice,
it's
yeah.
called a
It's a
spiritual
spiritual
awakening. Yeah.
So what happens if he holds on to it for a minute? Does he
Um,
awaken a little bit more?
I've used that one when I do. So when I meditate, I use crystals a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I put them on different solar plexes, or I'll
Mm.
hold something, put them in my hand, I put
on
them
your
above
heart.
me, put it on my heart, I hold things. And even sometimes at night when I go to, like when I'm getting ready to go to sleep and I
Mm.
want to have different dreams, or I just feel
Just
the
put
need,
them out.
I'll just hold it. I have a tendency, I like to hold something in my hand. So
Mhm.
I do it on, it's like a natural grip. So I'll hold
Do-
something, or I'll put it under my pillow.
You don't have any problem with people holding your crystals? Like, I know some people
I'll
are...
clean it when we're done.
Oh, okay. I just recently found out that was a thing.
Well, some people,
Yeah.
if you, I, this one has been my friend, and we're
Okay.
getting to know each other, but we're not working together yet, so we're okay.
You're good for now.
Yeah, and I think it's fine. I also like the idea of just sharing things with people
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's
helping
cool.
them to connect on
Yeah.
their own level. And I've made these discoveries, and I'm doing work with
With crystals?
stones and crystals, but
Mhm.
I'm still relatively new with it. But I enjoy bringing that connection of earth into
Yeah.
more of an etheric air
Sure.
type level. And
Yeah.
that makes sense because I'm an earthy air kind of chick.
I like that.
Earthy air kind of
I think it's cool. And
Yeah.
I love crystals, and
I
they're
like-
beautiful, and they're
I've always liked the possibility that they have power. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's a cool.
Well, they
it's,
do in movies,
it's,
so it must be
it's
true.
fun to believe.
Well,
in,
yeah. And you know what else?
The Dark Crystal's coming back out with a live series.
Did you
Oh
know
my
that?
God, really?
Yes.
On
Oh.
Netflix.
Netflix series.
Netflix is awesome.
I know.
They're killing
I'm
it.
like, they're killing it.
Love
I'm
it.
like,
Sorry, I didn't
yeah.
mean to
It's all
digress.
algorithms, though. Just so you know, we are actually making that.
That's
Absolutely,
awesome
yeah.
because we're
That's
awesome.
us. Yeah.
Because our algorithms rule.
Totally.
Al Gore made those. right?
Algorithms, yes.
Our algorithms.
Al Gore invented the internet and algorithms. Absolutely.
Oh
They're
my
named
God,
after
that
him.
would make sense.
It's a fact.
No way, is that serious?
I
No,
don't know.
that comes from I literally
I'm not
thought that
Googling
they were
that
saying
one.
algor.
We'll
I
just
thought
go
they were
with it.
saying algorithms when I first heard them.
Algorithms.
It makes sense though. 'Cause
Al
that's when
Gore.
everything went like on a
Rhythms.
weird timeline for a hot minute. Now we're self-correcting.
What do you think
Yeah.
Al Gore rhythms sounds like?
Algorithms.
It's got a reggae vibey.
0100.
Rasta dog. 01010123.
It sounds-
That's awesome.
totally. I don't think there's a 3 or a 2.
No, that's because it's changing the wavelength of how they do programming.
Oh man, you fucked it all up.
It actually has a 3 to it. That really screws the thing up.
I love threes.
Are you supposed to pull another card?
I don't know.
Am
If
I?
you want to, you can do whatever you
JR,
want.
do you want to pull a card?
You guys should each pull one. But I
Pull.
can't keep moving up. You got to get off your booty.
Get off your ears.
Okay.
Ooh, soul connection. Crystal for lovers.
Ooh.
Ooh!
As JR
Hey.
scratches my belly.
something about his belly.
He said, as JR scratches my belly.
God.
What'd you pick?
Amazonite.
It's Amazonite.
Amazonite?
And that's actually pretty cool one because this one talks
life
about life's purpose.
Oh, wow.
But one of the things I do know about Amazonite, or at least something that I've read somewhere, so I don't know if it's totally truthful, but I've read it because I've been researching, but it also absorbs negative frequencies like from cell phones and Wi-Fi stuff.
Which one does?
Like that. Amazonite.
Oh, wow.
And I had this like groovy idea that Amazonite would be really awesome as a cell phone cover, but then I thought, well, will it disrupt like the wavelengths coming in? Like it might not do it.
Might screw it up. I'd like to test
and
that
then I
theory.
wanted to think about, okay, is Amazonite, where is it mined? Where does it come from? How is the impact? How does it work? Would it be helpful? But I do know I kept my one crystal near my phone when I was up at Standing Rock, and things were weird.
That's a trip.
Technologically out there.
Well, I've heard that you're not the only person, and like I've read, like they were definitely jamming and flipping and doing everything they could.
Stuff.
Yeah, and they even had a helicopter where they changed the numbers on or something like that.
Yeah.
Like had no numbers. Like they were doing some wacko
Well,
shit.
a lot of the stuff they did was what we do in the Army is called psychological operations. So they were keeping the lights on at night. They were flying the helicopters 24/7. I don't know, were they playing music loud at all?
No, but they were flying things at night.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Yeah, no, that's for the sole intention to disrupt
to
disrupt the vibe. That's
I get
that's
that.
what they're trying to do.
To totally fuck with you. I get that. And then the weirdo dudes they bring in there that you're like, oh, okay, what's your intention?
Definitely a
you're
cop,
a little
dude.
obvious, nice. You're like, hi, should I smile big? You want my profile?
I just picture this white guy, this big white guy, shaven with a Rasta hat on, and cargo pants, and some flip flops, like just the complete stereotype of an undercover cop at a beach party.
Right.
No, they did good, dude.
They did good?
They did good because there was this one dude who he looked like what you would think of as a bohemian traveler, but he was just a little bit not quite.
He just wasn't filling the role all the way.
Uh-oh.
No, it was his mannerisms. But the thing is, that's how everything is. Like, and plus just how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know
the
what I
vibe
mean?
you give off, you even...
I can almost always smell a cop. Almost always.
Well...
Yep. Oh, that's a cop.
In Occupy, we called them goats.
Goats? Greatest of all time?
No.
No.
Because they're like, bah.
So Occupy
they were just like so obvious.
I like how that just rolled off his tongue like that, huh? That was weird.
We called them goats because they were just, I don't know, we just called them goats. We were just like, what? It's so obvious. You're like,
so
here
clear.
to just like watch what's going on. Like, you're not even here to participate. People that show up.
Yeah,
right.
You know, they don't, a lot of times just
they're not
stand
asking
there.
an overabundance of questions.
Well,
That's
no.
what I picture. Like just a bunch of questions. Like,
So what do you guys talk about?
No, it's just
Where's all the food?
It's just background observation.
And you could you sense the difference between somebody who would
What a
typically stay in the
coincidence.
background anyways, and then that? You know what I mean?
I think so because
Yeah.
they usually, it just felt weird.
Because there are people
I
like
don't know.
this.
I think it's just testing your instincts. Something like,
Totally.
come on, dude. Like, what's your intention? You're just checking
Well,
stuff
that was
out.
what
Like,
I was
people
going
feel
to say. Is
curious.
you can
or
always, it's just the intention that people are giving off. You can tell if they're actually there with you or not. I mean,
yeah,
you can
or
just
you
tell
can
they're
even tell if they're questioning or they're just
Right.
curious or what's going on. Or you can tell if they're just pissed the fuck off and they don't want to be there.
right.
Yeah.
Or
this
that
fucking
they're
detail
just
sucks.
like, why are these people even doing this stuff? You didn't hang out.
I wonder
you know?
if you guys and if any like have ever just changed somebody's mind, like some FBI agent. He's like, man, this makes a lot of fucking sense.
That would be awesome. But
Yeah.
that's how we know when things change.
Yeah.
So we know when things change is when the people that are getting the orders, stand up against the people giving the orders
yeah.
and say, no, you know what,
Not
this
doing
isn't
that
working.
anymore.
Yeah. That's what surprised me about No Dapple too. I just couldn't believe that the community would face off a community like that, because the people that they're facing off with, and I've heard both sides of the story because a friend of ours that we ride with, he's from there, and the people their side of the story is, look, you guys are fucking with our jobs. Like, what are you doing?
That's their livelihood,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
don't know any different. And
Right.
I understand that too.
Yeah, so
That's
do
why
I.
it was like it's about finding a way together.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look, I know you need a job,
Yeah.
but this isn't the way to do it. So
Yeah,
how
that-
can we find a way to like, or okay, you got to make this stupid pipeline. Well, maybe put it somewhere else.
Right.
Sure.
Because it wasn't going to go through the town.
No,
and then when they wanted to put it through the farms, and it wasn't going to go through the reservation, then perhaps we're at an impasse now because nobody wants a fucking pipe going through their stuff. So now we need to figure something else out. Is it that we all don't want a pipe because we don't want the damages? So maybe we need to think about that pipe in a different way.
Totally.
Right.
Maybe we need to realize that together. All of us not wanting, let's use our ability.
Together is the key word there.
Yeah,
because that's what the problem is there isn't enough togetherness. That's why there's an actual problem.
Because everybody wants to be on a fucking team.
Where people butt heads is where they're most similar. It's not where they're opposite.
Oh, that's a valuable point.
And so why would DAPL hit so many heads? Well, because people at the city didn't want it going through their city. The farmers didn't want it going through their farmland. And the natives didn't want it going through their land either. So, okay, now we're at a point where now what's the problem?
Right.
It sounds to me like it's the pipeline.
Yeah, totally.
So, but it's bringing you jobs. So what can we do to do something else to help bring jobs and figure this out? So we need to go to the next step. It's time to start thinking bigger, thinking collaboratively, and understanding our butting heads is
Was that ever talked about?
Giving us the light.
The two communities without the interruption of all the media and all the hype.
Not that I know
The
about
two communities actually sitting down and coming up with a consensus on what they want these businesses to do, because ultimately it's up to them, right? Like if they both sides of the community don't want it there, then there's a valuable fight to be had there.
I would think so.
You know what I mean? But I don't think that sit down ever. I think it was my team against your team, but I don't know either.
Yeah,
it probably was a Senate deal to begin with that the corporation just plowed through, and they just did it without anybody's...
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I am literally talking about the Native American and everybody who was on that team, and the people who... Because the police that were there were from there. The people, they were called in from all over that area, right? Those are members of the community. It's like your neighbor coming to fight you, right? So I don't understand how that thought... How
a human interaction didn't happen.
How those two teams didn't sit down.
I'm sure they had several interactions several times, but you also have to understand there's some tricky stuff within tribal politics.
Understood.
And there's tricky stuff within our own political structure,
totally.
honestly, because we have corporations creating legislation, like we were talking about with Alec. And so we definitely have some agenda stuff going on when it comes to the permits and policies of creating this land to be able to happen. But we also have on the same side, on the Native American side, we've got politics. Now we have tribal politics that I'm nowhere near any expert on.
Or understanding. I know very little, but I've read a little.
Yeah, but there's, the internal tribes, how they've always run. And then there's people that have been appointed in different ways that have different governmental connections, and then also different voting things changing from traditional ways. And then there's their own internal politics because of those changes, which are difficult and whatever. So you have to understand there's, again, a trinity of things going on. Yeah, it's super complicated. And ego, flair galore.
Oh, I can't imagine.
And money backed, and money is so important.
Well, that's why I felt it's really important for everyone to understand, like, the major points. There was the legal team in No DAPL. Those are the writers. They're creating the language. That's important. Then there's the governance, right? Then there was the people.
Right.
Like, so you need to be able to get all three in order. Right?
For it to work,
there were so many facets there, and there's so much pain and wounding behind all the reason why there's so much there's so much emotion behind it. I mean, we had a slaughter on our country. Like, there's so much blood spilt that is just...
I can't see that side of the team, that side, the Native American side, budging at all on any compromise.
Well, just because
why should we compromise at all anymore? Forget it.
They shouldn't.
Yeah, and then on the other side too, it's like they're just trying to push an imperialistic agenda.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We've evolved past that. Rome fell. Let's keep finding a new way.
They're not ever going to stop either. I mean, they're taking control over our national parks now too. So, I mean, it's never going to end.
Who's to say?
Well,
I got hope, because you know what? I honestly think that there's something that's going to give.
I really, really hope that's true. I do. And I wish for it daily. But I also know not to have expectations and understand how.
How do you wish without expectations?
Well, because a wish is a wish.
I like
you can't expect it to come true.
The wish is expectations.
Well, anytime you say I wish,
Uh-huh.
then you're just wishing it. If it is, you can create it.
Right.
So why not put energy into what you could create? That's one of the things. We have a lot of energy going on in our country right now on fear and the possible horrible outcomes. That puts a lot of energy behind that. Well, I have
totally.
hope.
Yeah.
I have so much hope. Oh my gosh, I have so much hope. So why can't we script a beautiful collective vision of what we want?
Yeah, totally.
You know, like perhaps we can create a new document. Let's create the document that like instead of like the Declaration of Independence, let's create the Declaration of Freedom.
Okay.
And let's start with those basic building blocks. You know, we know that our 44th president, I believe, ultimately is our last president, because this one, I think, is gonna something. Who knows?
It's tough.
But I think it's all going to be null and void, because when it all comes down to it, the entire administration is going to be guilty of something. And then we're also going to find so many guilties on the other side of everything else.
The whole thing's going to collapse.
The whole thing just be like, are you kidding me? Let's just do a redo.
What is that guy?
Start over.
It's going to just implode.
Yeah.
The whole thing
The guy that does
collapse inside itself.
Community art project with the kids, and he paints the what's that guy's name? He paints the garden. Like he gets kids gardens and all that stuff, and he does the big canvases.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were talking to him about at the Henderson Art Fest.
Guerrilla Arts guy.
Oh,
I can't.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah, but he was saying Trump is great. He's like because it's exposing everything.
Yeah, he's serving his purpose.
Yeah, he's exposing everything we all thought was true. Like, but they were able to hide it really well. And now Trump's like, nope, I'm just gonna tweet the fact that the FBI sucks and they're watching all of you guys. You know what I mean? Like just stuff like that. So maybe Trump has some benefit.
He does. I'm not saying he's a bad dude, because ultimately he's serving his purpose. I'm excited about everyone doing what it is that they're destined to do.
He's forcing the
because
issue on
it's awesome. Everybody just keep doing your job. Just keep your emotions in check.
Fired.
So it's not too let's not do anything wackadoo.
Right, let's not kill each other now.
Yeah, we're just going to keep it on expose, and then let's create a vision now.
Totally.
To fix it all
let's
and
create
make
a
it better.
vision, because things are going. So let's create the vision. So instead of focusing in on the fear of the dystopia, like all those dystopia novels we've read, okay, it's time to flip the mind script.
They're good books, though.
Love it.
They are. I've read them. I love them. Are you kidding me? And I wrote one in my mind before.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's totally I gotta get to the end story, so it's time to script the awesome at the end, because I had this whole thing in my head, and it's kind of creeping me out. Things are playing out in such an interesting way, although some of it's weird. If that comes out, okay, so if we start having weird time warp things that happen where we use all the tornadoes are, but they become wormholes and people start disappearing through them, that was totally in my idea for my book. That was not.
I had a dream about a lot of tornadoes. That's funny you say that. I had a dream about a lot of tornadoes. It scared the crap out of me, and it's one of few dreams that I remember.
We did watch Twister that night.
No, we did not.
Oh,
I'm
stop.
playing.
Lots and lots of tornadoes, though, literally.
Whoa.
Huge ones.
Crazy.
Huge. If you could see it, it was Trump lips. Huge.
Whoa. Dude, we've had weird winds where we're getting funnels that are coming down here.
Yo,
you notice that stuff?
We watched one develop just in the desert behind our house, probably about 10 miles away.
So maybe those are those time vortexes
I was like,
you're talking
holy
about.
Christ, I've never seen nothing like that.
We did repeat Thursday 3 times this week.
It was a lot of Thursdays.
That's weird. I didn't have that happen. Did I? I don't remember.
Maybe ask some of your families.
I have to think
Tuesday
about
and Wednesday, we both thought it was Thursday.
Tuesday and Wednesday, we both were like, wait.
I did think, holy crap. Because something did happen where I thought it was already the 18th. And they said, no, it was the 17th. And I go, no, it's the
totally
18th.
Yeah.
And then, I thought it was the 17th, but then it was the 18th. And then I was like, wait a minute, no, because we had to do these other things and we're not there yet, but we were there.
Right.
So I had mine go the other way. I didn't repeat it, but I thought it didn't happen yet.
Huh.
Well,
so
we're dyslexic, so.
Yeah, totally.
Who knows? Careful.
I thought it was the wrong month.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was June.
You need to seek medical attention.
Who are you? I didn't even see you here. What's this noise I hear coming from the other side of the table?
Oh, that's funny.
Where are we at?
We're at 2 hours.
All right. This is a good shut off, I think. Justice.
I think so too. Thank you so much.
My gosh, I love you.
That was fun.
Did you have a good time?
That was super fun. Took me a minute, but it worked good.
No,
But that's normal.
You made her cry.
Like,
You know what?
first thing, first thing.
You
Four
got
times.
comfortable faster on the microphone than most people.
Sorry,
Most people stay nervous for that's why we do such a long show. We do an hour to 3 hours because people stay. But you got comfortable pretty quick. It was nice.
Okay.
You did, yeah. The first hour was great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I did all right.
Yeah.
Yay, me.
Anyways, I'm
Thank
grateful that you exist in my existence. I'm so happy to know you and love you and be loved by you.
Aw. I feel so good. This was so awesome.
Yay.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was meant to. Now
Okay, so I need two things. I need you to say your name and that you're listening to Happy Earth Market podcast.
Oh.
Like, hi, and you're listening to.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so like a how
Yeah,
fun.
it's a drop.
Do a commercial. You could.
We
be
call
as
it a
zingy-
drop in the business.
Be as awesome as you can be, because I know you're awesome.
Yeah.
So I can do it in a lot of different ways.
You
What,
can
do-
what type of voice do you want?
Whatever
Because I can
you-
have so much fun
Whichever
with this.
you want.
Because, I do accents. I do all kinds of voices if I want to.
Oh, sweet. Then let's.
This is gonna be fun to play with. Be careful. This is gonna end up in one of his
Then
songs.
I would like to hear your Renaissance fair voice.
Oh, I don't know. It depends on my mood, if I'm a fairy or not. Ooh, Zany though, she's a bit English, so she's got a bit of a voice. She's
That's
a bit
perfect.
toned, and she doesn't quite get everything out, which is right. But she's just the best. She tries to rhyme, not always though. She's a bit stuffy, but she's fine.
She's great.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, do that voice.
I can channel her in sometimes. She's funny.
Perfect.
Just kidding. She's a creation.
Awesome. I think there's a little truth in both of those sentences.
Who knows? But it's fun.
Yeah.
Especially when I get to wear little funky outfits and carry my bowl.
There you go.
My bowl.
With
Me
sage.
bow of my sage with me feathers. I use it to blow off all the icky that gets
All
stuck
the
on your
icky.
being. And at the time I blow it off, you shake it down to the ground. And then I
Yeah.
teach you how to use your words.
So sweet.
Language is key, love.
I love that.
Isn't it nice? I love it. And it depends on who it is that comes up, too. Sometimes you get them teenagers. They need a bit of a whooping.
Love it.
Oh, okay. So, I get to do it.
You could say either your name or your
Oh.
fairy name, whatever you want.
I can do whatever. Well,
Yeah.
no matter what. Hello. I'm Justice Wyonne, and you're listening to the Happy Earth Market podcast.
Love it. Thank you.
Yay!
Yay!
That's the whimsical giggle.
Are you gonna do another one with the fairy voice?
Oh, let's
I kind of
see.
want you to.
Oh.
Don't you?
Well, her name is Zenny.
Okay.
That's Zenny, but Zenny for short.
my
They said,
mom's
"Hi,
name."
I'm Zenny. You're listening to the Happy Earth Market podcast. Welcome."
That was great.
Beautiful. Yay!
Oh, you never know what's gonna come out of me mouth. Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's gonna be a great show.
Do you need anything else, baby? We good?
I think we're good. Think we're good?